Hey, it's Glenn Hayworth here. Welcome if you are listening to the podcast or if you're watching the video. I want to share with you today the story growing my business from 6 figures a year to $6 million a year in revenue. I think that this is going to be really valuable if you are starting a business or if you're currently growing a business right now, regardless of what level it's at. And I just want you to keep something in mind. This is my perspective. This is what worked for me. It doesn't guarantee that everything will work for you. I just want you to think about this is what has worked for me. This is my point of view. It doesn't mean that there isn't other ways to grow a business, right? But I want to share with you today what really worked for me in terms of growing my business. If you don't know my story, when I was 25 years old, I bought our family business. My dad started building guitars with his hands from our workshop at home on the south coast of Australia, south coast of New South Wales, a town called Kiama. Started building guitars with his hands. Really clever guy, my dad. Very, very clever. Used to be an industrial arts teacher at high school. Started building guitars, started selling those guitars. When I came on board at 25 and bought the business, we had a small brick and mortar store. We were doing around 6 figures a year, multiple 6 figures a year in revenue. And I was really keen to sink my teeth into something. And my dad at that stage was keen to step back and take it a bit easier, start to retire. I was really keen to grow something, to build something, right? So fast forward to today, I'm 41 now. Last year, I actually sold the business so I could focus full time on my business coaching. And in the meantime, when I had that business, I was able to grow it to multiple locations, grow the e-commerce, start the e-commerce platform and really build that and really grow it to more of a nationwide business than just our local area. Started a music school program. We grew it to 400 students. We had a very successful music school program. And it was just an awesome, fun business to run. It was just really fun. We kicked some really good goals. We were the biggest seller of Maton guitars for about 6 years in a row for a while there. Then we were the biggest seller of Cole Clark guitars for about 5 years in a row. And I'm talking worldwide. Like I was going over to the NAMM show in Anaheim, California, and I was giving talks on how to grow your business because here we were, this kind of started off with this small business in Australia, really educating other music stores all around the world in how to grow, how to do your marketing, how to do your social media. So I want to share with you guys 4 things today that I focused on, which I think really cemented us as one of the main players in not just in Australian music stores, but actually kind of made some noise around the world with what we were doing at Hayworth Guitars. So strap yourselves in. By the way, this is my perspective. There are a million ways to build a business. These are the things that worked for me. So the first thing I want to talk about is marketing that moves people. So when I started really focusing on growing our business, I had to learn about marketing. I actually did a marketing degree at university. And what that degree taught me was a very, very small fraction of what I'd learned from other courses and guys like Tony Robbins' content and DeMartini's content and other marketing courses and things that I did, short courses. That taught me so much, but also just being in the trenches and just doing it for a business. You just have to learn this stuff, right? So I learned how to grow a Facebook audience, and then eventually I learned how to grow an Instagram audience. The Facebook audience got to around 20,000 followers. The Instagram audience got to around 70, 80,000 followers. And we used those platforms to build a relationship with our audience, to build awareness, to build trust, and to send that traffic to our stores, to our online store and to our physical stores as well. That was one of the biggest things that we did. I would do live videos once a week in our stores. I would grab one of our main staff members at the time, Ryan Beveridge, who was like the human jukebox. You could recommend any song, you could request any song, and he would play it. And we would go live every week. And we would have viewers show up from all over the world. And people rocking on there saying, yeah, I'm from California, or yeah, I'm from Mexico, or yeah, I'm from the UK. Play this song, play Hotel California. And Ryan would play it, and we'd walk through the stores demoing guitars and showing them the latest products and what was out. And we were essentially just building relationships with our audience. So we would do live videos. We would create entertaining content. Some of our content that we created, some of our short form content, got millions and millions of views. Just because it was entertaining, it was fun. People who liked music, people who liked guitars could relate to it. So if you go back far enough on our Instagram, you'll see some reels there that really blew up. So we really started to master social media marketing. That was just organic. The other thing we did in terms of marketing was we did lean into ads. We did ads on Facebook, on Instagram. We leaned into Google ads, Google Shopping. And that really helped us to really drive traffic to our stores, our physical stores, and online as well. So the marketing side of it was a big one. It was something that I really focused on, especially social media. Now that still applies today. Whether this is from a few years back when I was focusing on this really hard at Hayworth, but I'm still doing things like this today with my coaching, and I'm still teaching business owners today the latest marketing trends, the latest marketing tactics on how to really get your business seen and how to build trust. And I firmly believe that social media is where people's attention is these days. I mean, you don't have to just believe that. It's a stat, right? People's attention is on social media platforms. They're the best way to be able to build awareness and build trust for your business. So, social media game. That was the number one thing. First thing. Second thing was I had to learn how to sell. So, once we had people's attention, once we had people coming to our stores and to our website, I had to learn how to actually build that rapport, ask the right questions, clarify what their needs are, match those needs with our offer, stack the value of that offer to show them how that offer was going to help them, and then be able to ask and move them forward with the sales process, right? So that's essentially a 5-step sales process that I teach. And we used to train our guys in this. So we used to talk to our team about this 5-step sales process. It's number one, working on how to build rapport with your potential customers, not sleazy stuff, but actually just building a relationship with them. 2 was asking questions to qualify their needs and their pain points and what are they really looking for? What problem are they trying to solve? 3 was matching that need with your offer. If you are the right fit, matching it with the right offer. We would take people through our stores. We would ask questions and find out what sort of style of music they'd like to play. What was their budget? What sort of what style of guitars did they actually like? Who do they want to sound like? And then we would match their needs with what we had to offer, right? Let them play it. Then we would start to stack the value. So number 4 is stack the value. Show them why this is an amazing thing, how it's going to help them to solve their need and their pain points, right? Then we would deliver the price. Then we would ask how they would like to move forward from here. That's a very quick run through of the 5-step sales process. But basically, I had to train my team, and I had to learn this myself firstly. I had to train my team how to look after customers, how to practice great customer service. And we used to call it the rockstar experience. We used to create the rockstar experience for our customers. As soon as they walk through the door, they had to get acknowledged within the first 10 seconds. Doesn't matter if you're on the phone or if you're talking to another customer, you just have to wave, just have to acknowledge them, just to give them a head nod, just to acknowledge them, to make them feel welcome. And then the rockstar experience was basically treating your customers like rock stars. Like if your favorite rock star walked into your store, how would you treat them? You would go above and beyond for them, right? And if something went wrong in that process, because stuff went wrong all the time, we're running a business with multiple moving parts. We had thousands of online customers. Of course, things were going to go wrong. When things did go wrong, how did we handle that? We handled it as if they were a rock star. We basically went above and beyond to solve that problem for that customer, and not even solve the problem, but to go above and beyond, to go further than that. We might have thrown in an extra voucher or 2 if we stuffed up. And by the way, not everything went perfectly smooth, of course, but I would always encourage my team to think about it like, how would we create the rockstar experience for our customers? So in order to sell and look after your customers, you've got to treat them like rock stars. Your customers are the lifeblood of your business. You need to be able to treat them like rock stars. And the other thing that we did to focus on sales is we worked on add-ons and upsells. It wasn't good enough that someone would leave our store just with a guitar walking out in their hands. We had to make sure they had the case to look after it. We had to make sure they had the tuner so they could tune the guitars, or the guitar stand so that they could put the guitar in a stand, and they would be able to practice their guitar more and get better at playing the guitar if they kept it on a stand out in a high traffic area in their house, because they would see the guitar. Then you're more likely to pick it up for 2 minutes. That 2 minutes turns into 20 minutes. All of a sudden, if you're doing that every day, you're getting better at playing the guitar. So I would actually teach our team that it would be a disservice not to offer those extra things. If I got home with a guitar that I just bought and nobody actually sold me a guitar case to keep it safe, and I ended up dinging it because I didn't have the case, or if I didn't have a stand to keep it on, or if I didn't have a tuner, I didn't know how to tune the guitar because the guy in the guitar store didn't offer it to me because they were too afraid they were going to be salesy or sound too sleazy trying to offer a tuner with it, I'd be pissed. You'd be pissed too, right? We've got to make sure we we create the rockstar experience for our customers by offering these things. It's a disservice not to offer it if you know that it's valuable for them. If you know it's going to help them in some way, it's a disservice not to offer it. This is how we need to think about add-ons. Whether you're in hospitality, I work with cafes all the time, and their team don't often offer add-ons because they think it's being salesy. But you want your customers to walk out full. You want them to walk out having tried the protein balls, the banana bread, walking out with the extra waters, walking out with the best coffees, and create the best experience for them. That's how you create the best experience. So we've got to think about it as it's a disservice not to offer it. And one more thing with sales is I noticed that with our email marketing, we were sending out an email a week. And sometimes it would just be an offer. It would just be like, hey, we've got a sale on this particular product. And those emails didn't get very high open rates. They didn't get a huge response. But when we ramped up to sending out an email a day, and I'm not talking about sending out an offer a day. I'm not talking about being Kogan. Everyone hates getting those messages from Kogan, or what are some of the others? Some of the other places that just send just text messages all the time, emails every single day. No, I'm talking about sending valuable emails each day. So we would do fun things like, here's our top 5 customer picks. Here's our top 5 customer favorites. Or here's our top 10 staff favorites of the week. Or here's how to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Here's the guitar you need. Here's the amp you need. Here's the pedal you need. Here's how to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Like, here's how to restring a guitar. Like, we would send out valuable emails to nurture that audience, to nurture our email audience. We'd build our audience from our customer base, but also from leads coming to the website. We'd have the pop-up come up, right, to build our email list. And we would send nurturing emails, and we would just do it every day. And of course, every now and then we would drop an offer, we'd drop a promotion or a sale, but most of those emails were just interesting, value-building emails. When we started doing them daily, our sales went through the roof. Because the most common people who are going to buy from you are the people who have already bought from you. Your current customer base, you've already converted them. They're already sold on you. They're the most likely people to buy from you again. So we would remarket to them via email. We would market to our leads on our email list as well. And when you are capturing people's details, your customers, your leads, that's when you're more like the landlord, whereas on social media, we're like the tenant. We don't control the rules on social media. Zuckerberg controls the rules there. We don't control the rules. It can change in a heartbeat. I lost access to my Instagram for a week a few years ago, and it scared the living hell out of me. I lost access, I just couldn't access it. My account was gone. Luckily, I got it back thanks to a friend of a friend who worked at Meta. But someone else controls the rules there. At one stage, we had amazing reach on our Facebook pages. Now it's terrible, right? Unless you pay for it. So someone else controls the rules there, but when we actually have those details ourselves in a text list or email list, customer list, we control the rules. We're like the landlord there. That's why you want to be building your email list, build your text list, build your contact list, as well as building awareness and trust on social media. All right, that was a big one for number 2. Basically, number 2 is just learning how to sell. Number 3 is creating omnipresence. So omnipresence is like just being everywhere. It's like you hear about someone from a friend, and then you come across their content on social media, and then you see their stickers driving by on a car or some signage, and then you read about them in an article, and it's just, you've seen these people everywhere. You've seen this business everywhere. That's what omnipresence is. It's being top of mind, top of market. So the key with this one is, why this is so important is it's people need more touch points now than ever before. Back when I was growing the guitar business, it was an average of 7 touch points. Now it's more like 15 touch points before a customer actually converts. So they need to see you so many places to build that trust before they actually become a customer or a client. 15 times. So I would do things like this. We did some world record attempts. So when we launched our Albion Park store, I was like, let's get some free publishers. I think I was reading Richard Branson's books at the time. Losing My Virginity, it could have been that one. But he would do these crazy events whenever he launched something new. And he like abseiled down his building. I think it was in Vegas when he opened this new building. And like he just did some crazy stuff. So I was like, let's do a world record attempt to launch our new store. And so I contacted Guinness World Records and I said, who's got the world record for the most guitar strings changed in 1 hour. And they got back to me. They said, you need to restring more than 30 guitars in 1 hour. You need to take the old strings off, put new strings on, tune every single string, and you have to have a qualified musician looking over your shoulder to give the okay that every string is perfectly in tune before moving on to the next guitar. I thought, this is cool. This is exciting. This is going to get some good attention for us. So this was 2008, I think it was. Might have been 2007. So I got I contacted the local news, local media, and I just got all our customers there, all our friends there. We G'd it up. We made it this huge event. And I ended up restringing 30 and a half guitars in 1 hour, got the new world record. And it wasn't just that event that got us a lot of attention and got the local media covering it as well. But from that event, we had VB, and I'm not sure if it's still running at the moment, but I've got a handful of them here. VB actually did the bottle cap trivia. So if you don't know VB, Victorian Bitter, it's a beer in Australia. I think they own a few other beers as well, like Carlton. I think, do they own Carlton? I'm not 100% on that, but basically they noted that world record on the bottle caps of their beer bottles. So people were sending me these beer bottles and sending me photos and sending me the actual bottle tops with that world record trivia under the cap. And so this thing just got it was just like this ripple effect. And then people were sending me screenshots of the TV show, the US TV show Porn Stars, because somebody wanted to trade a guitar, and they mentioned my world record at the same time. And so people were just talking about this and sharing things, and it just created this kind of hype. And it went long after the launch of that new store. And so when I opened up another store in Wollongong, I was like, that thing worked so well the first time. Let's do a ukulele thing where I played ukulele for 25 hours straight all through the night. And we had local musos come in and jam, and we created all this attention, and the mayor of the town came in, and I got on the front page of the newspaper. This is kind of a side note, like another story, but basically that article on the front page was hilarious because the headline under the article, have you ever read an article in a newspaper and there's just a huge headline next to it or underneath it or above it, and it looks like it's that article, but it's not. It's completely unrelated. Well, guess what this headline said? I was on the front page, a big photo of me, just the rock and roll symbol holding a ukulele on the front page of the paper, and then directly underneath was this huge headline, right? Guess what it said? It said, sex attack, man jailed. And I'm like above this headline, just doing the rock and roll symbol, holding my ukulele, and there's this tiny little headline for my article that you can't even see. And so people were just, when that paper came out, whether online or the physical copy, people were just sending me photos and just like, dude, what have you done? What have you done? Well, like, what has happened here? And some people read more into it, but other people just thought I was going to jail, basically. And so that thing, looking back, I had a staff member, Dan, who was just an absolute legend, and we're still good friends today. He was furious. He was like, you've got to go, you've got to take this further. You've got to take legal action because it's defamation and all this. And I'm like, no. This is funny. Let's use this. So we framed it. We put it up in the store. We thought it was this, I kept it in the store all these years later. And I've talked about it as well before because that got us so much attention, probably more than the actual world record attempt itself, just that article. So, world record attempts. Now, that was our way of, I know that was a bit of a tangent, but that was our way of just getting more attention for our business. And we would do other things, like we would create these other big events like the Illawarra Drum Expo and just invite drummers from Sydney to Canberra and artists to do workshops. The guitar expos that we would run. We also did this car sticker loyalty program. And if you've ever been through Wollongong or the Illawarra or the South Coast, I guarantee you, if you look for it, you'll see it, because whatever you look for, you'll find, right? If you look for the Hayworth Guitar logo, I guarantee you're going to see it on at least one car on that trip, because our car stickers ended up everywhere. We created a loyalty program basically through our stickers. So I said anyone with a car sticker on their car gets a discount on their guitar strings when they come into the stores. So we would have car stickers everywhere. And that loyalty program works so well because it was just massive awareness for us. And it was just that extra touch point that some people would get and be like, what are those stickers I keep seeing on the cars? Let me look them up. Oh, I've been to their website. Oh, I've been to their social media. Oh, I've been to their store. And eventually they become a customer. So this third one, Omnipresence, it's about taking those actions to make sure that you are being seen everywhere. So maybe you got some ideas just from me running through that, or maybe you just had a laugh at me with that unfortunate headline. Number 4, mindset is the multiplier. This is the last one. Mindset is the multiplier. So I invested heavily in coaching and mentoring. So when I was in my early 20s, I was going to Tony Robbins events. I joined Tony Robbins Leadership. I was doing leadership at his events. I was learning from him. I was traveling all over the world doing Tony Robbins stuff. I was doing Dr. John Demartini stuff. He was a part of The Secret initially. And I was going to these events and I started to get a coach. My first coach was this guy, Matt Catling in Manly, and just north of Sydney. And really great guy. I went through his training programs. I learned NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I learned hypnotherapy. I learned timeline therapy. And he was coaching me one-on-one as well. And so over the years, I had multiple coaches, multiple mentors, went to multiple courses. I invested so much in my own personal development that was the ultimate multiplier for me to actually grow the business, because I was coming in with new ideas. I had accountability with my coach. I was coming in with new ideas from my coach and courses that I was doing. And it just really drove the energy in the team, and I was able to filter that energy to my team. I was passing that energy on to my team and to the customers by, just bringing this energy in. So it was constantly working on the internal game, working on my habits. And I would run along the beach and I would sit up the end in the mornings and I would just meditate, and I would do Wayne Dyer's meditations for manifesting, and I would just visualize what I wanted to make happen. And that was actually, to be honest, how we got our house that we live in today, because I had it on the vision board for 7 years, and I would run along the beach, I'd meditate, I'd focus on it. And then 7 years later, the stars aligned and this place comes up that no one wanted it, but it was our dream location on the beach. I ended up putting in an offer and we actually got the place. But that really cemented to me that and growing the business, that how powerful our mindset is. How powerful meditation, visualizing, affirmations, the words that we say to ourselves, how powerful that actually is. And this might just be a good time for you just to check that and just see, am I speaking the words that are necessary to step into this greater version of myself? Am I actually embodying the beliefs, the mindset that this version of myself, this next version of myself embodies? Because if you're not, it's going to be difficult to get there. And am I growing into my environment? Have I already grown to my environment around me right now? Do I need to expand that? Do I need to expand my peer group? Do I need to look for the coach, the mentor? Do I need to look for the next training or the next coaching, the next course, the next workshop to do? Because you'll only grow to the size of your environment and the size of your beliefs. So this might be a good time to check that, because sometimes if I feel like I've hit a plateau, that's the first thing I'll do. It's look at, okay, what's some new training I need to upskill? I need to work on more training. I need to work on more learning. I need to make sure I've got a good mentor I'm talking to, a good coach. That was the huge one for me. So I can't understate that. It needs to be on your list of things that you are constantly thinking about, is expanding your environment, expanding the peer group, getting around people who inspire you, who lift you up, who are just doing things that you didn't think were possible in your current environment. So we've been through 4 things. And the first one was your marketing and working on particularly social media marketing, getting out there more, sharing your content, being active, being present, engaging with your audience there. The second one was, we talked about sales. We talked about offering the add-ons and bringing the rockstar service and constantly working on your email marketing, ways to connect with your audience. The third one was omnipresence, just being seen everywhere. We need more touch points. People need to find out about you. I heard someone say one time, it was actually a mentor of mine, I think it was Alan Dibb, who wrote the one-page marketing plan. He said, people don't lose business to competition. They think it's competition. They lose it to people just not knowing about them and their business, just no one being aware about them. So we want to make sure we work on that omnipresence for you, people knowing about you. And the fourth one, probably the biggest, is your mindset. Mindset is the multiplier. So now this is just something that worked for me, and all the points I mentioned today have been things that I've done, but they're also evergreen. They're things that that apply now today even more so, especially that one with Omnipresence with more touch points being needed. So these are the things that I work on with my business coaching clients as well today, but they're also the things that help me to grow my business and to be able to exit that business and focus full time on the coaching. So I hope you got some awesome value today. I would love it if you would hit subscribe, share this with someone who you think would get some value from it. And hey, if you want to leave a great review, if you're getting value, I would also love that too. And reach out to me on my Instagram, @GlennHayworth_coach. Reach out to me there. I'd love to hear from you. Glenn with 2 N's, Hayworth without the Y, _coach. I've actually got a local workshop happening really soon, next month. If you're interested in coming, hit me up, shoot me a message. I'll send you some more info on that. For now, go out there, rip in, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you on the next one. See you guys. Bye.